Welcome to Boris Effects Live. Sponsored by Dell, NVIDIA, and Intel.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the final Boris Effects Live of the year. This is our roundup of 2023, and I am your roundup host, Ben Brownlee. Now, this year's been a ridiculously packed one. The Boris Effects family has swollen by two new whole products, CrumplePop and Syntheyes. Continuum and Sapphire have swollen with brand new effects and huge updates to existing features. And that's not even taking into account all the new workflow improvements and new functionality in Silhouette, Optics and Mocha Pro. We've had a bumper crop this year. And what better way to catch up with all the things you've missed than with this fast overview from the Boris Effects team. Now, we're doing things a little differently than normal in this stream, but one thing remains the same. Now, that's I want you to get involved. So how do you do that? It's very, very simple. If you are watching on YouTube or on boriseffectslive.com, we have a lovely chat box next to the video. I encourage you to enter all of the chats as you sort of think of any questions, get them in. We will answer them live here today. The other reason you might want to go to boriseffectslive.com is your chance to win one of our fabulous prizes. We're giving away stuff today. We're giving away too much stuff, to my mind. We are actually we'll talk a little bit more about prizes in a second. Let's talk about our sponsors a little bit, because without them, where would we be? Well, in the gutter, that's where. So thank you very much to NVIDIA, Dell, and Intel for your help in putting on these live streams all of this year. We really, really appreciate it. Now, of course, what else would we do without our sponsors, but also our prize sponsors? But before that, you need to follow us on the socials, of course. You're watching us on YouTube. So there's a little thumbs up button. Feel free to hit that. Maybe not now, but at any point during the stream. You can also find us on Instagram, Fatchebook, and Twitter/X. Alrighty. Well, we got a new one for all of the Gen Zers out there. Join us on boriseffectsdiscord.com. Actually, that just takes us to the Discord server. So much better, much easier than trying to scan a tiny little QR code. www.boriseffectsdiscord.com will take you straight to the link that you need to learn. Yeah, we'll stick that in chat as well, because that's probably the best way to do it. But now, talking about prizes. Yeah, as I said, we've gone completely crazy for our end of year prize giving. We are giving away not one, not two, not four, but 3 one-year subscriptions of the Boris FX Suite. So that's going to be 3 one-year subscriptions to lucky winners, or 1 3-year subscription to a very lucky winner. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet. But as in addition to that, of course, we have some big prizes from our friends, Wacom. Wacom drawing tablets can help with advanced rotoscoping and professional video paint workflows with pressure-sensitive brush tools in Silhouette. So you can optimize B-splines, Bezier, and object removal workflows in Mocha. And of course, if you're in Optics, you have precision masking and paint tools to replace backgrounds and isolate effects as well. And we are going to be giving away a beautiful Wacom tablet here today. And of course, there are deep discounts and holiday BOGOs, which I'm assuming is also buy one, get one. So you can check out all the details at the funny little QR code there, or go to bit.ly/41GUKOA. And of course, we have another big prize to give away from our friends at Foundry. So we are also giving away a license of Nuke as well. And if you are interested in Nuke, you can try it free for 90 days. Now, we're going to be taking a look at some of the some Nuke workflows a little bit later. So now is a fantastic time to enter in the competition to get your own license of Nuke, or try it free for 30 days. 90 days. There we go. 90 days, 90 days. That's almost 3 months, or actually 3 months if you're going January, February, March. I don't know, maybe on a leap year as well. But I mean, that's enough. So yes, there's a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of stuff to do. Now, obviously, we are going to be giving away one of those prizes very, very quickly. So borisfxlive.com, do not dilly, do not dally, go there now. But as I was saying a little bit earlier, the Boris Effects product line has grown, it has swollen, it has swelled. And what better way to actually look at it than by taking a look at our brand new hub, which we're going to do now. One of the sort of unforeseen consequences of having all of these products now is the need to have like one space where we can easily sort of manage installations and, activations, all that sort of stuff. And that's why we have the Boris Effects Hub. This is your sort of one-stop shop for doing, installations, which we can start off here. Nice download. We do all that in the background there. Or you can come in and manage any of the products that you have installed. So you can see which ones you've got installed, whether they're up to date. Easily update here with one click of a button, and whether they're licensed or not. And if you come in here, we can easily, deactivate here on a single machine and then activate on another machine very, very easily. So it's much simpler now to manage all of your products within the Boris Effects Hub. And if you want to download the Boris Effects Hub, well, you can do that just on the website. Just come to support, downloads, go to Boris Effects Hub, and here's your lovely bubbly installer. Currently it's only available for Mac and Windows, but if you do need any sort of individual products for Linux, then obviously you can come in and just select anything on the product families here and just do what you've done previously. And of course, there's no better way to try out the Boris Effects Suite, which is everything that we make, than using the hub, just to come in, install things, and give stuff a trial, and see how you like it. And of course, I'll be referring to the Boris Effects Suite throughout this stream. So Boris Effects Suite, and the best place to manage it, the Boris Effects Hub. Yeah, the hub is it's just a ridiculously great addition, and like I said, it's genuinely the best way to manage all of your Boris Effects products. Okie dokie. Well, if we're all a bit revved up now, I think we should actually give some stuff away early. We've got so many things to give away. I want to go. So I'm going to crank out the old tombola straight away, and I'm thinking that maybe we should give away the Wacom tablet first. So hopefully we have a little graphic for this just to show what we're going to be giving away. Look at that. I mean, this is theatre of the mind all of a sudden. So this is when we describe this show as a podcast with video, sometimes we're using the word video very, very lightly. All right. Well, anyway, let's we've actually broken the tombola, I hear. So maybe we have a name, but I don't know how we can get that name out. If only there was a magic. Right, let's hear a drum roll. Let's go. Oh, okay. I've just been heard in my ear. I've got to do the drum roll. So here's a drum roll. It's a drum roll cat. Congratulations to Stephen Parks. You are today's lucky winner of the Wacom tablet. We are going to be getting. I'm trying to find out what it is we're going to be getting to you here. It's the Intuos wireless tablet, and we will find where you are because you went to borisfxlive.com like a sensible person, and you entered all your details into there. So we know who you are, and we can get you those prizes. Yeah, if you want to join in, go to borisfxlive.com. There is still time. We are giving away tons of stuff still. So get in early, get in quickly. If you're enjoying what you're seeing so far, it's just a small amount of what we're going to be doing. Remember, that thumbs up button every single time. And if you want to, feel free to hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. All right, well, I wanted to just say thank you very much to our friends at Wacom for sponsoring today's prize. We really appreciate it. I'm surrounded by Wacoms here, which is very, very lucky because everything is on sale at Wacom. So deep discounts and holiday boggos. Remember, check out the details, use that QR code. And or we'll stick the link in the chat there. Alrighty, well let's move on to probably one of the biggest bits of news that we've had in 2023 is our focus on AI tools and machine learning tools. Now this is something actually here at Boris Effects, you know, our research into this started in 2017. So you know we've been at it for a while, and now like the first tools have started to sort of seep their way through into our product line, and I couldn't be happier. So we're going to start with Continuum, and then we're going to look at Silhouette, Particle Illusion, and CrumplePop as well. So 4 of our tools have got AI sparkles around in them, some more literally than others, but we'll talk about that soon. So yeah, without any further ado, I'm going to hand over to Nick Haraz when he shows you Continuum and the new AI tools to be found therein.
Okay, to start off with these new ML tools, I'm going to head to Premiere Pro, but with Denoise ML in particular, this is going to work in any host that Continuum supports. Here's this first shot. Let me just play it full frame, and hopefully you'll be able to make out some of the noise pattern in the brighter portions of the image. In my program monitor, I'm going to make this 400%. If we head to our effect controls, we're going to find this in the image restoration category. And the magic about Denoise is that you simply drag and drop it onto a clip. It's going to take a few seconds to think, and it's going to come up with a result. And as I was talking, it's actually already denoised the clip. We'll take a look at this under effect controls. And first of all, let me turn off the effect so we can see the original noise compared to the result that we just got on this frame. If we would like to, we could change the view to just see the noise pattern that ML filter has picked up on, which happens to be based on the model, which is set to compression and noise. In certain instances, we can switch this over to camera noise. And in a second, we should see a different noise pattern be produced based on that variation. If you're applying denoise to a bunch of clips at once, let's say using an adjustment layer, or if you're nesting your clips, I do recommend having a workflow in place where you turn off the denoise effect until the end of your effect pipeline, or alternatively take advantage of some of the tools that are available in your nonlinear editor. So with Premiere, I could easily take this clip and choose to render and replace this. So let's just see that in one other example. So this shot comes from NASA. It's of the Northern Lights. And once again, I'll apply from the Effects tab, the denoise effect onto the clip. And we should see that noise has now been removed. Let's take a look at upres, and I'm just going to hop over to After Effects for that. I have this establishing shot of a ballerina, and I'd like to make it 300% extra in scale. Make this 300%, and I'm going to change the position of this. So we see the ballerina here on the right-hand side. And in After Effects, I want to take a snapshot of it. Okay, let me reset both the position and the scale. We're going to find upres ML. So I'll drag and drop it onto the clip. Now, by default, the scale is set to 200%, so it's going to be a 2x scale. We'll let it come up with a result first. And let me now enhance this to 300%. We'll get a second upres result. And now I'm just going to lower the quality just temporarily to get a little bit more responsiveness, where I'm going to change the center position. So the ballerina here is on the left-hand side. And just so now we can see it at full quality, I'll bring that back to full. And let's simply show the snapshot. So this was the 300% native scale. And this is compared to the up-res version. Just look at some of the sharpening detail there in the highlights, as well as around our ballerina. The best part about it is that there's a sharpening value that powered by BCC plus Magic Sharp that we can take advantage of. So depending on the source material, we can dial this up or down. I'm going to choose to bring this down to 20%. And here we can actually see the original establishing shot compared with the up-resed version. In this case, it's just the 200% scale. Does a pretty great job. So I want to look at another use case for this. One thing I love to do is add production value when handing clients a video. And one way to do that is to grab more shots out of your existing source material. And this is something that up-res shines at. So here's just a shot of me. It's an establishing shot in a studio. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just apply up-res to it. And we're going to see automatically that it's going to go up to 200% in scale. Now, the thing is, I want to use this shot in a multi-camera clip in my nonlinear editing software. So right now, this up-res clip is constrained to the boundary box of the composition. Let's change that. I'm going to go to Composition, Composition Settings, and I'll press OK. And now we can see this little video in a larger box. And we asked it to up-res. And in fact, we do want it to fit an Ultra HD raster. So look no further than just clicking on the Allow Resizing button in order to achieve this. And now we can see that video expanded to the Ultra HD frame. Just like before, I'll bring down a bit of the sharpening, but we have a lot of detail here, upscaling this 1920 by 1080 clip all the way to 3840 by 2160 and can go even further. Now that this is set up, I would export this from After Effects and then start to work in my preferred software to cut this multicam clip. Now, it just so happens inside of Premiere Pro here, I'll head over to a bin where I have, this is the original shot. This is an angle resized at about 170%. And I had a second angle here, and I did the same thing. Now I can select all of this material and easily right-click, creating a multi-camera source sequence from here. Multicam up-res, I'll choose OK. All of those clips now move to a process bin. I could drop my multi-camera clip into a new sequence, which I'll fit. And also just so that we can see all those angles inside, move a little bit further here in the timeline. All synced together and ready for me to cut between more shots than I actually had when we originally grabbed this material. Up-res, currently available in After Effects. Denoise, available at any host in Continuum. Those are machine learning powered tools, and that's it.
Thank you very much, Nick. That was a very lovely, quick run through of the new ML tools in Continuum. I've been using these tools actually consistently from the moment they were added. It really is like a huge addition to sprucing up old footage or actually making shots that you didn't think were going to be usable into something that is absolutely usable now. We do have a couple of questions coming from chat. One was, how does up-res differ from Magic Sharp? I mean, up-res itself is a scaling plugin, a scaling effect. So it will go in and it will do that super scaling for you. It includes Magic Sharp to add a touch of sharpness to it, but it means that you're not at the whims of your host's scaling and whatever type of scaling algorithms they're using. Old scaling algorithms. Boo, boo, I say to you. And we're going to have like a ton of other videos available about some nice little tips and tricks of how we're going to use up-res and how we use it in-house to actually enhance the effect and bring you much closer to the perfect upscale. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about Silhouette in a moment, but I just want to say we are still giving away a ton of prizes. And if you haven't done so already, head over to boriseffectslive.com and enter the competition. There's a little box at the bottom of the page. Just tippy tap your name and details in there, and you will enter today's prize draw. We're giving away, actually, we've still got 3 one-year subscriptions of the Boris FX Suite. That's everything that we make, including Continuum, Sapphire, Silhouette, CrumplePop, what am I missing? Mocha Pro, of course, optics. We've got so many products now, it's ridiculous. So everything is in that one package. We are also giving away a copy of Nuke as well. Foundry have been very, very generous in giving us a license of Nuke to give away to 1 lucky winner. And if you want to try Nuke for free, you can now for 90 full days, 90 days. Okay, well, let's take a look at some more of the AI goodness, machine learning goodness, I should call it, but I will call it AI goodness, in this time in Silhouette. So Silhouette's had some AI stuff in it for quite a while now, and what better person to tell us more about it than Boris Effects' own Elizabeth Postel. Thank you, Elizabeth.
No matter whether you're an experienced paint artist or a video editor who is occasionally asked to do some cleanups, the next tool should become an essential in your toolbox. Stability is a generative AI tool we put into Silhouette to help you with some command paint and comp tasks. Let's start with something simple. Here on my timeline, I do have a clip of a tourist walking through snowy mountains. However, for any reason, you may want to have this clip without any human presence and leave only the landscape. Certainly, you could try to create a patch yourself, but that would still require some time and painting skills. Let's see how we can easily accomplish this task using stability inside Silhouette. The first step would be to create some shapes and do the track. Inside the rotor node that we already have here, I would create 2 shapes, where the one would be used for masking our tourist and the other one for the actual track. Since the movement is very linear and our camera is not moving in depth, I can't track any part of the mountain, and that would work just fine. Once it's done, I can bring up Stability node and create a patch. I'll change the mode to In Paint, and all the rest can be left on its default. I don't even need to add a text prompt. Click Generate, and in a moment, you'll get a few clean plate options. I'll disable the Composite checkbox because I want to control the amount of feathering by myself. Once we have our clean plate, I can merge it with my original source clip using the Composite node and make it follow the original motion by adding a transform and feeding the track data from the rotor node. Add some feathering to the original shape, and we can call it a day. But this could be used not only for cleanups, but also for regular compositing tasks. Let's jump into Nuke and walk you through another shot I made using stability. Okay, here I have a Nuke script with my final comp. But let's go up to the very beginning and check how the original clip looked like. The woman sits at the desk, there is a green screen behind her, we can't see nothing through the window, and then at some point, something distracts her and she turns around. I wanted to add a little bit of mystery to the shot, so here's what I did. I found the stock footage of a city and keyed out this flock of flying birds from it. Then, I used the silhouette with the stability node inside to generate a clean texture of a cloudy, overcast sky. This is literally what my prompt was. Then I merged the flock of birds over the cloudy texture and put it behind the windows. So now we have a visual reason why our character turns around, as if the birds distracted her. Going down the script, I decided to add a few pictures on the wall behind her. One is a picture of a raven, to complement the flock of birds behind. And the other one had to be a portrait. But not just any portrait. I wanted it to look a little bit like our main heroine, at least in terms of style and general composition. So I added another silhouette node, but this time I fed my original clip as an input source and used stability in generate mode. That way it worked as an image-to-image type generation. I also added a text prompt, oil-painted picture of a beautiful red-hat woman, and after a couple of tries, I got something close to what I wanted. All I have left to do is put it inside the picture frame and place it behind our character. And here is how my final composition made using stability looks like. I hope that's given you a couple of ideas about how to fit stability into your workflow. If you'd like to learn more, then we have a full videos available on the Boris FX training pages.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Yeah, I mean, it's amazingly powerful stuff, and we're really only scratching the surface with this. But for doing any sort of like big cleanup work, it's so fast. We're also going to have a look at some of the other things that you could possibly use this for in a little bit later video as well. But yeah, no, the fact that we've got that stuff within Silhouette just makes certain tricky jobs just so easy now. All right. But enough about Silhouette for the time being. We will return to Silhouette. I just want to say thank you very much to everyone for joining us so far. My name is Ben Brownlee. This is the Boris Effects Roundup of 2023. We are going fast. We've got a lot of stuff to cover, but not so much that I can't say, come and join us in our Discord, channel. If you want to join us there, probably the easiest way to do it is go to www.borisfxdiscord.com. Remember the www or the link will not work. Why is that? Technology. It's just science. It's just science. Okay, and of course, if you are enjoying the stream so far, there's a big thumbs up button. Do you know what happens if you press that button? Of course you do, because you've already done it. But if you haven't, you're going to get confetti. You're going to get like a thumb going, way, and it's all going to be good for you. So come see the animation. There's YouTube engineers have worked very hard for the last 7 years on that animation. So have a little look at it, see what it does. You will be happy. Also, if you want to be the first to get to know all of our new videos, you want to be a subscriber to the Boris Effects YouTube channel. Of course, there's a big subscribe button just down there, just underneath the viewer there. If I don't get another 100 subscribers by the end of this stream, I'm gonzo. So I don't want to beg, but here we are. All right, I'm going to bring in a guest now. I'm going to say a surprise guest. It was a surprise guest for me. He's the ever surprising Alan Lawrence. Alan, welcome to Boris Effects Live.
Hello. I'm glad to be here. Last of the year. I think this is the only one I've done this year.
I think it is, and this seems like a shame. This is why I lobbied hard to get you on. Brian said no. Said Alan's not. He's not going to be ready. And I said no. He's going to be fine.
It's hard to make the cut. It really is.
It really is. I mean, we've got such a stable of talent out there now. You've got to really be showing your racing goods all the time to actually get any airtime now.
Yeah.
Alan, tell us a little bit about yourself, please. Why are you here?
Oh, now I understand why Brian doesn't let me on. I am the product manager for Particle Illusion. That's why I'm here right now. Also Sapphire, but we'll just hear more of that later. And I've been developing on Particle Illusion since the beginning, which was many years ago. Let's just say that, many years ago. And so we're going to talk about Particle Illusion, I think, right now. And that's why I am here.
Illusion. Yes. I mean, Particle Illusion, it's one of those things that has... I mean, it's seen. I think people throw the word rebirth around far too readily nowadays, but it's seen a definite rebirth in the last few years. And can you just quickly list the top 5 of the new things that have come in over the last 3 years? There's too many for that. The top 100.
Well,
yeah.
It's first of all, it's 3D now, 3D particles, and that's the huge one. Let's see, the fact that, oh wow, it's so much easier to use now. We've got the nodes, the node navigation we call it, but that's made it tons easier. And there are, I would say, hundreds of small user experience improvements and things. 5, okay, that's what is it? I'm up to 3 now.
You're, up to
Number
you're only allowed 3. But go on,
uh,
give us another couple.
stability is great. Definitely, always having the ability to kind of work at the rough edges in places is great too. And let's see, number 5, I would say, is probably, I guess the number of hosts we support is probably number 5, because in the old days, PI was a standalone app only, and we had an AE plugin at one time. But now the fact that we're running on OFX and in Premiere and everything is just is exciting too.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Oh, of course, we missed out. Speed. Speed was the big one for me, but
That's true. Yeah.
that's also true. And
I'm
fluid
patient.
dynamics.
I'm a
But we're not here to
patient.
talk about any of these things. What we're here to talk about.
We are here to talk about sprites, and more specifically, the ability to generate sprites inside PI itself. And that would actually, if you had asked me my top 5, that would be number 2 now. And I don't even.
I would
maybe
agree.
we should just jump in.
Let's dive in and show me what you got.
All right. Thanks, Ben. Particle illusion uses images or sprites for all of its particles. And to get good-looking particles, then you need good sprites. And in the past, that meant either selecting sprites that were already in the particle illusion libraries, or creating them somewhere else and importing them. Well, in the past year, we've added the ability to generate sprites within particle illusion itself using AI. In this example, I am looking for snowflake sprites. So rather than look at all this, we're just going to load a preset. And there is a preset for snowflakes. I'm going to apply that. And you can see it filled out the prompt and a bunch of other settings. And just going to hit generate. That's talking to the stability.ai servers and generating images based on what I told it to do. And because in PI it uses that seed image as a starting point, it's much easier to get the results you're looking for. That's pretty good. You can see that the images are returned back at 1024 by 1024. But I'm going to close this, and then I'm just going to go ahead and look at what we had before. And I'm going to say, maybe I want to guide the results a little bit better, and maybe we'll just use one of these guys to start with. And maybe I do want something that's just simpler like this, so I'm going to generate off of that. You can see the seed image has updated, and I'm just going to hit generate using all those same settings. We try to make it as easy and painless to experiment in this as possible. So using that seed image as a starting point is really the sort of what makes it so much easier. So great, got some nice images returned here. And you can see that there's a history kept. So the previous results are still there and available. They're slightly smaller than the generated results, but that's fine. And then I can just go ahead and find one of these that I like and click import. And then at that point, we just get to the same PI import dialog that we've always had before. 256, apply. And now you can see that it's using those new images. Because this generation, though, is using real money, we've also made sure that we've saved a copy of each of the generated images as a PNG file. So you always have those available. What that means, in addition, though, is I can use the regular PI import feature to select those one of those images. That's the right one. Okay, select that. And now it will detect the sequence. And you can see that I've got all 4 images here. And I'm just going to import that as sequence. And you can see now that it's using the variety of images that were returned. So super easy to get a wide variety of new sprites. I'm going to look at another project now, keeping with the holiday theme. And I've got this, you may recognize this from the sampler library. I've just taken off some of the additional particle nodes. It's a sort of a blurry star, and let's say I want to replace that. You might think, oh, it's fairly easy to go into Photoshop or some other tool and make a star, but I'm going to do some sort of interesting things with it, I think. I'm going to go ahead and choose a starting point, click Generate, and then instead of saying star or anything, I'm going to get a little creative and just say scribbles. Get rid of all of this. And I'm maybe going to tweak a couple of things. I do know that the higher a couple of these settings are, the more realistic things get, which is, we kind of wanted that for the snowflakes, but for what I'm going to do here, scribbles, I want it to be a little bit more artistic. And I'm just going to go ahead and say 8 and generate. So saying scribbles with a star, we should get something that is, yeah, scribbly stars. Like it. That's what I wanted. Like a rough drawing of stars with a bunch of scribbles on it. I could have done that in Photoshop, even with my limited skills, but I wouldn't be able to do it that quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and close and then import that, since we have the PNG images again. So I'm just going to open and have it generate the, import the sequence, 512, yeah, make it a little bit bigger, apply, and apply. And then there we've got a nice sort of scribbled, pseudo-animated star, which is what I was hoping for. Again, could have done that in Photoshop, made those sprites, but it would have taken me quite a long time. These aren't perfect. I can see that there's a little bit of an outline, so didn't get a fully black background on those. But let's say we wanted to do something more advanced. I'm going to go back in, and we'll go ahead back to, and I'm going to change this to say furry star, black background. And leave everything else the same and just generate and see what happens here. This is the nice thing about the way we've set this up. It lets you experiment without fear of losing previous work or making mistakes or anything like that. So it's all experimentation. And we got back pretty much what we asked for. I'm not sure like that one there, but these are definitely furry stars. So good, I go for that. Again, I wouldn't have been able to do this in Photoshop no matter how long you gave me to do this. So just a great tool for generating new sprites. I want to show one more thing. So I'm going to take this preset that John used in one of his videos. Maybe turn this up a little bit. Okay, and this is an anime style grass generator, but there are other styles. So most of the time you'll probably use none, but there are other styles you can use, like origami, for instance. And there you go, origami grass. Just opens up so many possibilities. So even though this was just a quick look at some of the things you can do with it, I hope you're as excited about this ability to generate sprites as I am.
Now this is seriously cool, and this is it's been so much fun, like experimenting and updating old emitters with the with all of this generative AI stuff. It's like some of the stuff that I'm getting out is just magic.
It really is. It's just you know, for years I've thought, like, you know, that's the drawback. Like, you need sprites and you can't make them in PI. Like, you know, even if you did like a little paint app or whatever, it's just not, you know, it's nothing that's going to be useful. But this is just changes everything. Like easily, this is number 2 on my list. You said the top 5. This is number 2 now. It's not as important as 3D, I think, but it's so important, especially for somebody if you make emitters like Ben, you and I do every release. Having this resource is just even if we didn't release this to customers, I would use it to generate sprites for every release. It's just that good.
We should have done that. We should have just kept it as our secret source, and people.
I should have never told anybody about it.
Yeah.
You would think I'm just amazing at sprite generation. That's what you would think. Like, how are you doing this? I don't know. I watched a video. I don't know.
Just
the one thing,
God.
The other thing that's great that maybe doesn't come across in what I just showed was it's really easy to take one of those old sprites that's like old 128 tiny sprite and then generate a new 1024 version of it, because you're using that image as the seed image, and you get back, I wouldn't say the same thing, but a higher res, highly detailed version of it. But it's definitely another use case that, you might be thinking, well, I'm never going to generate something creative like you just showed, but even just to up-res and add some, detail to those smoke sprites. I think you've done that, right, Ben? You've definitely done that in some videos too. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
and in fact,
it's just amazing.
If it's not out already, there's actually a video where I go through exactly the process of doing that, which should be released within the next few days, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And this feature is in the 2024 version of Particle Illusion, which is in Continuum 2024. The free standalone version of Particle Illusion is still 2023.5, so it does not have this feature.
I think I missed out a word there. I think you just dropped. Did you say the free version of Particle Illusion?
The free version, standalone Particle Illusion is available for free. That currently is at 2023.5. We call that.
Where would one find that?
Ben, this is your show. I mean,
you see, I do. What I do is I'd go to borisfx.com and have a little look. And
invite me on and make me do all the work. Button. I see what it is. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No. So yeah, you can download, if you haven't tried Particle Illusion already, download the freebie version at borisfx.com, and you can just freebie standalone, render out, do whatever you want to do with it. If you want to try the stuff with stability, you can do that with a free trial of Continuum. So again, that's all found at the same place. And obviously, the way you want to really install all of these is use the Boris Effects Hub. It is your one-stop shop for all things Boris Effects. Alan, before we say goodbye, are there any sort of closing thoughts? What sort of stuff are you looking forward to with Particle Illusion now? Well,
I mean, we focused on the sprite generation for 2023, but this past year in the releases we've had been some pretty huge changes. We didn't talk about color gradient presets. We didn't talk about other presets that are available in PI as well. So just we didn't talk about the sort of controls view redesign with the parameter de-emphasis. Like, these are all things that have made using PI so much more manageable, and so much more, I guess, fun is maybe not always the right word, but it definitely is more enjoyable and much more productive. So much to look at.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about what we're doing today is we're trying to rush through all of the sort of things that we've created in the last year, but this year everything has swollen up. 2023 is the year of Boris Effects Swole, so there's too much stuff. I do have one question before we say goodbye to you. How much is a credit on stability.ai, what we were using to generate up those particles?
One credit is Oh, I always do this wrong, don't I? You
do.
A tenth of a penny of a US penny, a tenth of a US penny, or a hundredth of a US penny.
You're so close. No, it's one US penny. One credit.
One penny Is one credit?
Is one
You're
credit,
right. Yeah. I never know.
But how many? This is where I think this is where the maths comes in. How many images, on average, can you generate for 1 penny?
5?
Yes. He's
Is that right?
done it. He's done it. Yeah. Each image is about 0.2 cents, depending on your settings. So
people,
it's ridiculous.
Anybody watching, we do this all the time. I'll make a video and Ben will correct me. Nope, you got that math wrong again. It's less than what you said. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, Alan, thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you.
Get back to PI. Get back to making more cool stuff with PI, please.
Great. Thank you.
I'll talk to you later. Right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Yes. So that was Alan Lawrence talking PI. If you enjoyed that, we still got a thumbs up button. We still got tons of show to get going. You're watching Boris Effects Live with me, Ben Brownlee, and I'm still going to be giving away tons of stuff. In fact, I'm going to be giving away a copy of the Boris Effects Suite in about 6 minutes time. I think maybe 7 minutes time, depending on my humor. So go to boriseffectslive.com and enter the competition. There is still time to win, but do not dilly, do not dally. Time is ticking. All right, we're going to carry on now. We're going to be looking at the next bit of our AI focus of 2023, which is with some audio tools with CrumplePop. And here I'm going to be throwing back to Elizabeth Postel to tell us much more about what you can do with CrumplePop.
In the beginning of this year, CrumplePop joined the Boris FX family, becoming our first set of audio tools. It brings the power of AI audio restoration in a simple and easy-to-use plugin interface. It's better to hear it in action than talk about it, so let's dive into. It's pretty common that the surroundings where you have to film in may be not the best treated room for audio recording. You may have an echo or some kind of noise source running in the background. Let's listen to one of those examples.
When drying your hair, always remember to use thermal heat protection to prevent hair damage from high temperatures, and always brush in the right direction from top to bottom.
This is the ideal use case scenario for the CrumplePop audio denoiser. All I need to do is apply it over my clip, and the magic starts to happen.
When drying your hair, always remember to use thermal heat protection to prevent hair damage from high temperatures, and always brush in the right direction from top to bottom.
The default value of 80 already removes most of that fan noise. You can leave it as it is to keep some of the atmosphere, or bump it closer to 100 to completely eliminate that noise.
When drying your hair, always remember to use thermal heat protection to prevent hair damage from high temperatures, and always brush in the right direction from top to bottom.
CrumplePop is a set of 8 different plugins designed to help you in various situations. The traffic remover is the one that assists you in removing general city noises, such as cars passing by. Here's the clip before traffic remover is applied.
Diesel emissions can also contain corrosive gases such as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide. These can react with building materials such as concrete and steel, causing them to degrade.
It's not so bad, but let's make it better. So I'll apply traffic remover and give it a shot.
Diesel emissions can also contain corrosive gases such as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide. These can react with building materials such as concrete and steel, causing them to degrade.
That's much better. The voice became much clearer and prominent. The weather is something that you absolutely can't control. When shooting outside, the wind is not your friend. That's where we have wind remover. Let's listen for a clip from a windy seaside.
If we take off the protector here, you're obviously going to be opening yourselves up to a lot more type of noise that's happening from something like the wind, because we're taking away all that protection that we're getting from the mic itself.
And yeah, we do get quite a lot of wind noise hitting that mic. Let's see if the CrumplePop wind remover can handle that. I drop it over my clip, Turn up the knob a bit and give it a try.
If we take off the protector here, you're obviously going to be opening yourselves up to a lot more type of noise that's happening from something like the wind.
And now it sounds like it was recorded somewhere in the studio. Sometimes, not the environment, but the equipment may let you down. Our last clip demonstrates exactly that case.
Do you hear that? If you're using low-quality audio cables with poor isolation, you may be picking up an unwanted electrical noise or having grounding problems. This will result in an unpleasant hum or buzz in your recording.
And you definitely can hear that nasty background noise. But for CrumplePop, that's not even a problem. Let's try audio denoiser again.
Do you hear that? If you're using low-quality audio cables with poor isolation, you may be picking up an unwanted electrical noise or having grounding problems.
And the noise is completely gone. So you can see just how easy it is to clean up problematic audio with CrumplePop. Even if you don't have any previous experience with audio, one will, and your ears should be fine.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Yes, that is CrumplePop. So easy to use, so effective, so efficient. You can just, it's just drag and drop and then twiddle, and you're pretty much there. So it's so good. If you haven't given it a go, I would heartily recommend it. In fact, some of the videos / all of the videos that you see on the Boris Effects YouTube channel have had a little bit of CrumplePop magic put on them. All right, if you want to try CrumplePop, maybe you don't even have to pay for it, because we are now going to be giving away the Boris FX Suite. In fact, our first of 3 copies of the Boris FX Suite. And we're going to go along and spin our tombola. I've been assured that the tombola has been repaired in the last half an hour. So what we're going to be doing there is we're going to be taking all of the names that people have been putting in. They've gone to boriseffectslive.com, they've put their name in, and do you know what? Without any further ado, Ariel Leventer, you've only got on blooming one Boris FX Suite, a 1-year subscription. That is $1,295 of value, and we have given it away to you today just for being part of the stream. That's how much we love our viewers. So well done, Ariel. Congratulations. If you are not Ariel Leventer, then you still have time to win, because we are giving away 2 more copies of the Boris FX Suite later on in the stream. And our good friends at Foundry are giving away a license of Nuke. Anyone on this stream can try Nuke for free for 90 days, but only one person is going to be walking away with the big boy Nuke license at the end of this stream. Maybe not the end of the stream. Maybe it could be at any point in this stream. Maybe I'm feeling a little bit crazy. It's going to be at the end of the stream. Stay tuned for the end of the stream. All right. Let's carry on a little bit now. We've looked at the AI part of the Boris Effects product so far, but AI isn't the only thing we've been doing in 2023. One of the big things is trying to raise up the focus on productivity, trying to get you to work faster with the tools that you have in hand. So the ability to work fast and have the right tools is actually the essence of the Boris FX Suite. So what better way than to take a look at this B-roll while I pontificate very shortly about Sapphire and Continuum. I mean, these are the big filter effects that are now packed to the gills with effects to meet your daily challenges. So we've added tons of new effects. We've also added tons of new presets as well. Each effect comes with its own set of artist design presets to get you working fast. And we've done a huge effort in sort of coming in and working with those presets as well. So who better to talk Sapphire now than our very own John Dickinson, Director of Motion Graphics here at Boris Effects. So I think let's hand it over to John, and we'll come back and talk about what's going on. Remember, get your questions in the chat. More questions. And I'll see you on the other side.
Hi everyone. 2023 was another huge year for Sapphire with the 2023.5 and the 2024 releases. Starting with 2023.5, we stripped out a lot of the old presets. We actually looked at all of the presets in a huge spreadsheet. It took us quite a while. We made a lot of the old tied effects obsolete, although they are still available if you do need them. And we replaced those with a lot of new looks. And we also updated presets to take advantage of the new parameter linking feature, which was also introduced in 2023.5. And parameter linking is particularly handy in these really big effects in Sapphire Effect Builder. You can see I've got loads of nodes in here. Just as a quick example, I've got a couple of distort chroma effects in here. And if you know anything about Builder, you'll probably know that you can make various parameters available in the host. You can see here I've got the amount parameter checked, so that's available inside the host. And if I click on this distort chroma here, you can see that also has an amount parameter, which is the same value. So in order to save me having two separate amount parameters in the host, what I can do is I can click on the stopwatch here, make this a driver, click on the second distort chroma, click on the stopwatch again, click on the link, and then I can choose that to be driven by the driver. So if I go back to the driver node and I make a change, that also changes the distortion amount for distort chroma 2. So you can make these really quick links which save a lot of time and also will declutter your host parameters inside your host. So very, very handy. I definitely recommend you take a look at parameter linking. A couple of other smaller things that were added in 2023.5 include a new favorites option. Over here in the effect list, if I click the star, then that becomes one of my favorites. And also the new quick menu. So if I hit the tab key, up pops a new quick menu. And here I can quickly search for an effect. For example, my favorite glow of all time, Ultra Glow. And I can quickly add that into my effect stack. So very, very handy new features introduced in 2023.5 inside of Builder. And to learn more about that, you can check out this tutorial, which dives deeper into those Builder features. With Sapphire 2024, we introduced two brand new effects, Sapphire Dust and Sapphire Pixel Mosh. You can use Sapphire Dust to create realistic and cinematic dust effects really fast. I've spent a lot of time using this effect. And besides dust, it's also great for things like embers and snow, for fast bokeh looks. And I also, of course, find it really useful inside of Sapphire Builder when combining it with other Sapphire effects. And we've created a whole ton of presets that you can use as a starting point. You can also learn more about Sapphire Dust by checking out this tutorial. Plus, look out for a brand new deep dive tutorial which I recorded, which is dropping later this month. Sapphire Pixel Mosh is a brand new stylize effect, and you can use that to create some really amazing looking glitchy effects. I've only just started scratching the surface with this effect, but Ben's been diving really deep, and he's also recorded some expert tutorials for this, which includes tips and tricks on how to use it with the built-in Mocha planar tracker, and also how to combine it with other effects inside Sapphire Effect Builder. And created a whole bunch of different presets for this as well, so you can use those as a starting point. Another update included in Sapphire 2024 is the time effect update. I've got a couple of time effects applied to this shot, and notice here in After Effects I can jump around the timeline and I instantly get the frame returned, the correct frame. So much more predictable now, and I've definitely started including them a lot more in my workflow. And they're also now available inside of the Sapphire Effect Builder as well. You can see the whole list over here on the left-hand side. And I used the time effects in this tutorial where I created this look. And I've just finished another one about how to use time effects and transitions in Sapphire Builder with text. So look out for that one too. And of course, with every new release, we create brand new presets. Sapphire 2024 is no different. We've created a whole range of new presets including new lens flare looks and also some great new Sapphire effect presets as well. And one other welcome change in the effect previews is with effects like digital damage, time-based effects, you can now get proper previews so you know exactly what you're looking at and you can choose just what you need. All right, so that's a quick recap of what's new in Sapphire this year. Of course, Sapphire keeps getting better and better, so I can't wait to share with you what we have in store. Have a great 2024, and I look forward to seeing you in my next tutorial.
Thanks, John. Yeah, it's been a real sort of labor of love going through those old presets and then, you know, finding new things to replace it with. It's just, you know, there's no better way of learning, you know, all of the 270 plus Sapphire effects than actually sort of trying to dive deep with them, you know, one at a time and just sort of figure out what each of those can do. And then obviously sticking them all together in the builder is just, yeah, it becomes a lot easier because you know what the building blocks look like. So yeah, it's not quite you know, Lego for video filters, but you know, it's on the same amount of fun. I'm going to put it on the same scale of fun there. We are getting some questions coming in from chat. I will answer some of these quickly, hopefully. Will it ever be possible to use a video file as sprites in PI? That's an excellent question. I'm not sure. At the moment, you can use image sequences as sprite sequences, but there's no sort of direct link to a video file. But I can see where that would be handy. Another one we've got is about using multiple layers of Mocha Pro within Vegas Pro. I think that one's maybe a little bit too in depth to go in right now in the stream. But what I would do is use that as an opportunity to talk about the Boris FX forums, forum.borisfx.com, where you can sort of ask your questions to the community and also some of very clever bods that are right in there. Or of course, in the brand new, well, a 2023 new Boris FX Discord channel, which you can find at www.borisfxdiscord.com. Remember the www bit. Okay. We also have one more. What's the difference between Sapphire and Particle Illusion? Sapphire is a collection of 270 different video filters, 270 plus different video filters. Particle Illusion is a particle system or particle generating system. Sapphire has tons of other things that you can use to help to make those particles shine and glow and explode and do tons of other little fun stuff. I would have a little look at the Boris Effects website, specifically the Boris Effects training side, and you can have a little look and find out just what you can do with all of our products right there. Hundreds of hours of free training for all of our products there. Very, very good. Okay, you're watching Boris Effects Live. If you're enjoying Boris Effects Live, our last one of the year, hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. You don't have to ring the bell. Don't worry about that. Just hit the subscribe button. I'll be very, very happy with that as well. We are going to be giving away another copy of the Boris Effects Suite very soon. So if you haven't entered our prize draw, head over to boriseffectslive.com, scroll down to the bottom of the screen, and you will have your chance to win. All you have to do, tippy tap your details right in there. Okay, we're going to keep this train rolling, and we're still going to be talking about productivity here, because I don't think there's been any product that has gained from the productivity focus as much as Mocha Pro this year. And I'm going to pass over to Mocha Pro product manager Martin Brennand, all the way over in Australia, to tell us a little bit more about that. Martin, can you hear me?
Hello, this is Mocha Product Manager Martin Brennand, here to talk about the plethora of productivity tools we put into Mocha Pro over the last year. And by plethora, I do mean plethora. I mean, even I was surprised at how much we crammed into 2023. For tracking, we beefed up power mesh control with the fall-off tool to easily adjust points on difficult tracks. Power mesh has been many artists' favourite feature for the last few versions, so this just made the mesh much easier to work with. A delightful feature suggested by our excellent specialist Elizabeth was simply to be able to preview how far out the planar tracker was looking on the next frame, giving you immediate feedback on whether you needed to adjust the search area. We added tools to split and merge layers, making tracking and roto much more productive. There's nothing like working on a tough shot, having that uncaffeinated moment where you should have broken the roto into smaller pieces, and then realizing you actually can. Combining more than one track became a lot less hassle with the introduction of the Merge Layer Tracks tool. Being able to work on two ends of a shot with different layers, then combining them together, beats trying to muscle through with one. For some, roto is like nails on a chalkboard, so we tried to throw as many new roto helpers as possible. Being able to shrink and grow splines according to the shape rather than uniform scale made it much more efficient to tweak edges. Inner and outer edge tools, instead of just using the cursor, saved a ton of time messing around with feathering points. Using that same power mesh fall-off tool for splines meant organic adjustments to contours while not having to be delicate with complex shapes. Of course, sometimes shots are just a massive pain and you have to redo parts of your work. This is why we added the clear keyframe buttons to quickly blow away keyframes ahead or behind the playhead, so you're not having to fiddle around in the dope sheet. Having snapshot duplicate to be able to start a new, unkeyframed layer exactly where you left off the other one has been a delight to work with. Often, when the motion suddenly changes, having immediate access to a clean copy saves a lot of time. I haven't even gone over half the features we added here, so let's talk about the new Nuke export tools in the OFX plugin. This made it more convenient to generate tracking data nodes directly from the interface. You can also link that tracking data from Mocha directly to the node, so if you need to update the surface, you don't need to redo the node. But then, on the rendering side, we wanted to make things even better. So many remove shots where the background didn't move required unnecessary tracking. That felt really pointless to us, so we just got rid of that requirement. Now static shots don't even need a background layer. They just remove on one layer using all the same parameters. By far though, my favourite addition was region of interest fitting. Just a few tweaks to that feature has made the insert module so much more fun to use. Being able to clip down images to the surface instead of fitting the surface to match the image gives you a lot more flexibility for adjusting shots. You know you've done the right thing when you're personally using the tools you've introduced for customers in your own work. Really what we've done in 2023 is take a big wish list of features requested by long-time users and made it reality. Then we went and added all the day-to-day convenience functions. Locking adjust track points to avoid keyframing them in future frames. Adjustable grid sizes relative to the surface to make it easier to see what's going on. Single-click track generation in After Effects, so you no longer have to pick the one layer you tracked for that project. Double-clicking spline shapes to automatically fit them to the shot dimensions, or shift double-clicking them to make them uniform. We had a lot of fun this year. And let me tell you, next year is going to be even more fun. We have been very, very busy working on something that we think is exciting for Mocha and will help you a lot in your day-to-day work. And we cannot wait to show you. So we'll see you then.
I say 2023 has been a great year for Mocha Pro, but I've seen what's coming around the corner. I've peeked behind the curtain. I'm going to say 2024 hot Mocha Pro year. I'm not going to say hot Mocha Pro summer, hot Mocha Pro year. It's going to be a biggie. So yeah, I'm really, really excited to be able to talk about what's going on with that. We're not breaking news today. This isn't what today is about. Today is about looking back with fond rose tinted glasses about all the things that we've done today, or done so far this year. And there's a lot of good stuff. If you've been enjoying the good stuff, maybe you're actually going to win a copy of the Boris FX Suite to be able to try out all of the things that we've seen. So far, we've taken a look at Continuum, we've taken a look at Silhouette, we've taken a look at Particle Illusion, CrumplePop, Sapphire, Mocha, and there's still more to come in the Boris FX Suite, and there's still more to come in this live stream as well. But yeah, I'm going to be giving away a 1-year subscription to Boris FX Suite right now, and I'm going to be spinning up the tombola again. We have names in there, we have places, we have dates. I don't know if we have any of those things. We've probably got names. So let's pull out a name from the tombola, please. And winning our 1-year subscription of the Boris FX Suite is none other than Eldon Snelder. Eldon, congratulations. You are our second winner of the Boris FX Suite, a 1-year subscription, nonetheless. $1,295. Oh, well done, Eldon. And we're not done yet. We still have another copy of the Boris FX Suite to give away. And we also have a copy of Nuke to give away from our good friends at Foundry. So if you want to try Nuke for free for 90 days, head on over to foundry.co.uk, or maybe it's just thefoundry.com now. Who knows? We're going to put that link in the chat because that's much better than me trying to recite it, and it's easy. It's just a click away. But we still got a load of show still to come up. You're watching Boris FX Live, the recap of 2023. Thank you very much for joining us so far. Now, one of the other big focuses that we've had in 2023 is about interoperability. It's a big word. It's a word I just learned to say this morning by repeating it several thousand times. I mean, one of the big things about having all of these products in this same product family is that they all talk to each other. And I think, there's probably no better place to start with this than in Continuum. And I'm going to ask Nick Haraz to help me out to explain Continuum and Mocha and the Mocha integration, please. So take it away, Nick.
All right. So I'm here in After Effects once again. And in Continuum 2023.5 earlier this year, we actually added parameter-based tracking to a bunch of BCC plus effects. So let me just apply chroma bands from the lights category. I'll just move the position of those so they're over this star in the upper portion of the scene. And then we can use some parameters to just scale that down. And once all those parameters are set, I'm going to draw your attention to the top of the effect where we have a Mocha mask and track section. In this instance, we want to have it move with the position of the star and look no further than the Mocha parameter tracking button. So we'll enter into Mocha and into the Essentials workspace. And we have two elements that you can see right here in the middle of our viewer. One is the position of where those chroma bands are going to be, and then a search area. So in this scene, there's really just position movement. Under track options in the Essentials tab, just take out both scale and rotation. So I'm going to first of all just track this backwards. And then once I reach to the end, track forward, knowing that eventually this star is going to go off screen. Now, the cool part is I can actually rewind this back, just move backward here in the timeline to around where the tracker is thrown off. Let me grab this position search area, actually choose a texture here on the planet. I'll attach it to here and actually just hold down the Z key temporarily to zoom out. So now just to sort of see the end result with that offset, the position search area, here is those chroma bands, that position, all being attached just with some offset tracking, all from Mocha parameter tracking. Exit out of Mocha and of course save. We're going to see those chroma bands here and all of that data carry on over. Now let's take what we know, and I wanted to show an example with Audio Visualizer. Okay, let's just take a look at this composition. I've got a video clip in here, and I also have an audio file. And I'd like that to be responsible for driving a visualizer on screen. We'll find Audio Visualizer in the time category. I'll apply it to the video source, and right away it's going to ask us to select an audio layer. I'm going to select the audio layer that's in my composition, and all of a sudden I see these lovely frequencies. And let's see how it responds to the music. Now, if you're looking to control the bass look of this, we can go into the generator category, where you can choose from an audio style of not only frequencies, but waveform. But if we're looking to see how far we can push this, a great place to visualize this is in the effects editor. And there happen to be over 50 presets that we can choose from. I'm going to select this scrolling waveforms, and we can even preview it here. And this is how it's responding to that audio source, although we can't hear it inside the effects editor. We can sift through a few of these presets, and I happen to like this preset. But I should mention that on borisfx.com, you can check out a ton of tutorials on audio visualizers that go over this into a lot of detail. I'm going to go to the background section. And since I want to see this with my clip, I'll choose to have this set instead of none to source. Now, while we have this visualizer over our clip, we want to have it more integrated into the shot. So as I play this back, we want it to follow the scale movement of the shot, not to mention be behind the piano. And we can accomplish all of this under the Mocha Mask and Track section. And first, let's head to Mocha Parameter Track. We're going to see something slightly different than we did with chroma bands. It's using corner pinning. And the search area that we want to define to the piano in this case happens to be in the outer region of the frame. So that's the texture that we want to track. Now that that's in place, no need to track rotation here in the Essentials tab, and I will track forward first, and now track backward. That's grabbing onto that position, not to mention scale data, as you can see by the change of the size of our corner pin box. Now that Mocha's finished, I'm going to exit out of here and not forget to save. We're going to head to the Global Transform section and just enable it. And that's because the corner pin data is here, and once you do, we should see the results. I'll just play this back. Now, the coolest part is that we can combine this with Mocha masking as well under this one effect. Let's head to Mocha Mask. And in this case, I'm going to select the magnetic spline tool to make a quick, dirty shape around the piano here. I'll double click to close out that shape. And in fact, I'll even add an additional separate shape to the layer that I currently have selected, layer 3 that has the piano. I'll head to the X spline tool, just select the X plus tool, where I will draw a shape around this pianist's head. When you head into the Mocha Mask section of this effect, you'll see under Effect Trackers, here's that corner pin data. And we can use our masked layers, layer properties, linking it to that corner pin track. Play this back. Now, while this isn't perfect, I'm going to exit here out of Mocha. I'm going to save all of this Mocha mask information. And we should see that our visualizer disappears because those masks represent right now where we don't want to see the visualizer. And all we want to do is head into Pixel Chooser Mocha at the top of the effect and just invert our mask. And now, here's the final result. So there you have it, Audio Visualizer from Continuum 2024 and all of those presets, not to mention the new capabilities of Mocha Parameter Tracking from 2023.5, now in several BCC Plus effects.
Thanks very much, Nick. Yeah, that's the parameter tracking is such a huge functionality boost, and having Mocha everywhere means that once you learn Mocha in one place, obviously you know how to use it in every other place that you're going to find it as well. I'm also especially happy to have that audio visualizer in there as well. I've been having like a ton of fun with that, and there's some more. Well, actually, I've made a tutorial for it that's coming out soon, and I know that John has made quite a few tutorials as well as Nick. So yeah, give Audio Visualizer a quick go as well. All right, we still have a lot to come up now, but we're not just here for fun and games. We're not just here to give stuff away, even though we're doing that. We're here to answer your questions as well. So if you do have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to use those. and ask those in the chat, which you have handily next to or below your viewer. Also, one of the things that you'll have below your viewer, if you're watching on YouTube, is something that looks a little bit like that. It's a button that looks like this thing here. It's a thumbs up. If you don't mind, you could press it to see what happens, to see how it feels. Might feel good. And also, if you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel and be the first to find out what's going on with all of our products, then hit the big subscribe button. It's right there. Why not? You might as well. You're going to do it at some point. Why not do it now? Okay, we've still got a lot to talk about, but I would like to invite everyone to join us in our Discord community. So you can just go to www.boriseffectsdiscord.com and you'll be sent over to our Discord channel from there. We are racing to get to 10,000 members in our Discord community. You could be part of that 10,000. Could you be part of that first 10,000? Maybe you could. We do love people over there. We love hearing the suggestions. We love hearing the questions. We also love seeing what you have been working on as well. Speaking of stuff that we've been working on, what a segue that's going to be. We are going to be looking at another one of the new features inside of Silhouette now with the interoperability improvements. Now, Silhouette has been a linchpin in the Boris Effect product line for a long time. It's where so many different products converge, including Continuum, Sapphire, and Mocha Pro. But we can start to leverage Silhouette as a plugin to do different things where you literally couldn't do them before. And I'm going to ask Elizabeth Postel to come back and talk to us a little bit more about Silhouette and some of the new template types.
Silhouette started its life as a standalone rotoscoping tool, but over time it's grown into something much bigger and more powerful. It is now packaged with various filters and tools, including world-class keying and grain management tools. In 2023, we added in some new project templates to get people started with these new workflows. To start with, Huri prepped a clip with a sporty guy shot on a green screen, and another clip that we are going to use as a background. It's a common practice to shoot sport ads like this to fill in the stadium with the crowds of people later in post. But anyways, everything starts with a good key, and this is where the Primate shines. Primate is not like the other keys. It's a world-class keying solution, and that's why it deserves its own template. In Adobe Premiere, I can apply Silhouette to my main clip and feed the background plate as an additional image source. Once I select Primate preset from the Silhouette's templates list, the basic node tree is already set up. A good way to start with Primate is to press the Outer button to get a starting point and then push the result to Ideal. Our guy became a little transparent because the blue color is quite close to green. This can be easily fixed by selecting the foreground brush tool and simply clicking on the problematic areas. While I'm doing this, Primate adjusts its 3D keying mask and gets a better understanding of which colors to keep and which to remove. Later in the shot, some of the background starts to reappear in a kind of unpleasant noise. That's because our green screen moved in a wind and the lighting changed a bit. But that's not a problem for a Primate. Now I can grab the background brush and tell Primate that all the stuff should also be removed. The unwanted stand on the side can be cut off with a simple roto mask. For better image integration, there are also settings such as spill suppression, edge cleaning, and color correction. But I'm pretty happy with the key I already have, especially considering how little time it took. Back in Premiere, the Silhouette effect is automatically set to show you the Primate's output, and you get the final result right on your timeline. Another great tool that landed in Silhouette this year is the regrain. Not only have we developed a robust grain restoration tool, but we've also created a separate template for it to ensure your grain management workflow is smooth and flawless. If we go back to the shot we've looked before, you can see that I did all of my compositing on the degrained plate. But the rule of thumb is to restore the original grain when the comp is done. The Silhouette's Regrain template is designed to do just that. All you have to do is to connect 3 input sources, which are the original clip, the degrained plate, and the final comp to Silhouette node, and once launched, choose the Regrain template and click the Analyze button inside the Regrain node. That's all what it takes. Now if I zoom in really close and swipe between the before and after, I hope you can see that the grain pattern between those 2 clips makes a perfect match. The comp is ready to be rendered without the time spent fiddling the grain settings. Silhouette is much more than just Paint and Roto. Available as a NoFX or Adobe plugin, it fits right into your toolbox whenever you need it. For a more in-depth look into Silhouette tools, we have a Roto, Paint, and Compositing series on the Boris FX Learn YouTube channel.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how just using Silhouette as a plugin helps us to kind of wheedle our way into places that we never could wheedle before. Especially with the grain management stuff, bringing that into Flame and Nuke is just so straightforward with Silhouette now. Okay, we've still actually got loads of news happening. I'm going to be talking a little bit about optics very shortly, and then we are going to be passing the baton over to our very own Harry Frank to talk about the latest in the Boris Effects family, Syntheyes, our 3D match moving system. But if you haven't done so already, I would highly recommend you go to borisfxlive.com and enter our prize now. The time is running out. That we have mere minutes left for you to win one of our big prizes. So you go to borisfxlive.com, scroll to the bottom of the screen, and we could be coming in, or you could actually be walking away with either a 1-year subscription to the Boris FX Suite, or that's a $12.95 value, or a great prize from our friends at Foundry, a full license of Nuke. And of course, everyone can and should try Nuke for free for 90 days. We have a link coming out in the chat for that right now. So it's going to be an annual sub to Nuke from our friends at Foundry. So thank you very much. So stay tuned for that. Well, actually, don't just stay tuned, actively join in the competition for it. All right. Let's come back, and I'm going to talk a little bit about optics now. I say I'm going to talk about a little bit about optics. I'm going to throw back to a Ben of Christmas past. You will recognize this Ben as being different from this Ben because he still has a youthful wink in his eye, a twinkle in his eye, and he still has all of his future available to him. Now, Ben, past Ben, please talk to us about optics.
Thank you for that introduction, future Ben. Now, optics is the most accessible way to work with our favorite Sapphire and Continuum filters on still images. And you can work with it either in the standalone application or use optics as a plugin for Photoshop and Lightroom. So let's apply optics to our first image. Now, optics is by far my favorite place to just experiment and play with different ideas. I've got all of my filters down at the bottom here, and I'm going to start to stack and mask them over here on the left. Now, when I'm building up these shots, I prefer to add many small bits in rather than dump one filter over the top and then just call it a day. Now, there's a ridiculous amount of effects available, and each one of these has its own sort of collection of presets to work with as well.
The nice thing about optics is it's a place where technology is shared from across the Boris FX product range, and new filters from Sapphire and Continuum are added with each release. And actually some of the new masking tools that we're going to look at in Particle Illusion were actually driven by the need to do more things in optics originally. Okay, well let's actually get to doing something with this image. And the first thing I want to do is create a bit more separation between the lady in the foreground and the background. So my favorite way to do something fast here is to go to the color category and either make it darker with high contrast, or maybe even lighter with low contrast. We can just click through the presets here. If I want to go even more, actually let's pop into the diffusion here and maybe do something like double fog. Now at the moment this effect is over everything, so I'll add in a mask. For complex effects like this, Easy Mask is the safest bet. I'll right click and scribble over the bit that I want to keep in the foreground. There we go. And I'll left click and just scribble over the bits that I want to be affected by the effect. Now I hit return to process the mask, and now it's given me something actually that's pretty good to work off. I could refine this further, but I'll just add a little bit of softness to simulate light spill and fall off. Now let's blend it back with a layer blend mode, and I'll set this to soft light in the drop down menu here to make it more subtle. And I can choose a different preset to ramp that up a little bit. Now I'm going to build this up quickly now, recycling this mask every step of the way. So let's create a new layer. Now one of the brand new filters this year started off actually as a brand new filter in Continuum, and that is Prism. And that's in the light category. Prism lets you do chromatic aberration effects, but it's much more than that. And just by tapping through the presets, we begin to get an idea of what's possible. But never feel limited by these presets. They're starting points. They're not your only destination. I'm actually going to start with push swirl down, and I'm going to come over to the parameters and I'll reset the angles. So angle start and angle end, and maybe the scale start as well. And we're left with this. And I actually quite like this, but it's probably too strong over the entire image. So let's just reuse the mask we just created with a simple drag and drop. There you go, nice and easy. Now, staying in the light category, this year saw a new type of pattern, the tileable light gobo. And this allows us to create infinite textures across the image. Perfect for adding in a subtle bit of diffusion. I'll recycle this mask again, and maybe, why not just duplicate the whole layer and invert this mask and create something different over the top of the foreground. So maybe something greatly different or just subtly different with a bit of displacement. And what better way to finish off the image than with a bit of realistic film grain? One of my most used effects in Sapphire has also been added to optics this year, and ultra grain is a great way to get the most realistic looking grain patterns across your image. We start with a preset, all nicely labeled for which camera sensor or film pattern that it's been modeled after. Maybe something there. Then I can make it stronger with grain amp and change up the random seed to create a unique looking pattern that fits your image. This is much more flexible than overlays and much more realistic than the standard noise patterns from Photoshop. A quick look at the before and after shows a much more stylish image that keeps the mood of the original. Now I could keep building on this and finish it up, but let's hit apply on this and move on to another image. Now in this car shot, I wanted to add a bit more dynamism. So I thought, let's add a bit of directional blur and a blend mode, and then add a gradient mask just to limit it to the car lights. But that got me thinking about what else I could do with the lights. Okay, so on this new layer, we can generate masks based off of areas that we draw, or easy masks, gradients, and also selections. So here I've created a selection from the red channel. We can also chain selections together so that I can now combine that red channel with a gradient to get the best of both worlds. Now, with my selection made on the rear lights, let's start spitting some particles out of it. So we'll come to Particle Illusion, and I will add one of the newer presets, maybe G-align tracers, but it's actually difficult to see what's going on. You'll notice that the particles are limited to the masked area, but they don't have to be. I can use the mask that I created to determine where my particles are coming from. And I'll do that with my particle masking. And I can use the mask for particle creation. Now remember, with Particle Illusion, we can do a lot with the main parameters here, but I can do even more if I dip into the Particle Illusion interface. So here I can extend out the line where my particles are being generated from, or potentially generated from, in combination with the mask. And I can also come over here, select a different frame, and reposition that force which is actually driving most of the movement in this still shot. So we've got frame 106. Let's hit apply. Now finally, with the shot, I'll add another effect, Sapphire's Prism Lens, which you can find in the stylized category. And Prism Lens is the ultimate way to stick arty glass in front of your lens without actually doing it. And I'll just disable Particle Illusion for the moment so I can work with this a bit faster. It's a great look for doing something that's a bit eye-catching, and I quite like the look of the tilted straight shot. In fact, I like it so much, maybe I'll just mask it off a little bit so that it doesn't overwhelm the image. And I'll just use a linear gradient and mask off over to the right-hand side. Turn Particle Illusion back on again, and let's have a look at a quick before and after. And this is starting to get somewhere. Obviously, this is far too short a time to be showing all the new things that have happened in the past year, but we also have things like smoke and fog, which we can use to create smoke and fog, but we don't necessarily exclusively have to use it to create smoke and fog. We can do the little dots here. But you know, if you're interested in dots, we also have orbs for creating, you know, either teeny tiny dots or big fat dots, big blurry boys, as one of my favorite presets on this one. And all of these are great for keying in just the right amount of atmosphere into the shot. And how could we forget Prism, of course? And I can't be sleeping on Atmospheric Glow, which is a mega effect which contains, you know, all of these things built into one single place. But we don't need that for here. Now, as I said, optics is a great place to lose yourself in exploration and discovery. And if you'd like to see me do just that, then join me in my other videos on optics on the main Boris Effects YouTube channel, or maybe on my hour-long flight to fancy on Boris Effects Learn. I'll throw back over to Future Ben again, but I hope you've enjoyed this quick peek about what we've been doing with optics in 2023. I've never seen a presenter be simultaneously so wise and so handsome. Thank you very much, past Ben. Let's see if we can follow up with that now. Well, I'll tell you what we are going to follow this up with. If you've been enjoying the stream so far and you haven't done so already, hit the like button. Do it for me. Do it for past Ben. Do it for all the Boris Effects team you have seen so far. No, just do it. Just do it. I'm going to give away some stuff. I've got one more copy of the Boris FX Suite to give away now. One year subscription going to one lucky person. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the old tombola back out. We're going to spin that wheel and we're going to reveal the name any moment now. Laura Fitzpatrick. Laura Fitzpatrick, congratulations. You are our third and dare I say it, final winner of the Boris FX Suite in today's live stream. So already today, we've given away a Wacom tablet. We've given away three Boris FX Suite subscriptions. And we're not even done yet. We've still got a 1-year subscription of Nuke to give away, courtesy of Foundry. So thank you very much to our friends at the Foundry. There is still time for you to do that or to win that. Go to borisfxlive.com, scroll down to the bottom of the page and enter your details in there. There is also very, very small amount of time for you to hit the subscribe button on today's stream. We're not quite at the 100 extra subscriptions that I need to keep doing these streams. I am begging you. Don't let them take me away without those 100 subscriptions, please. All right, we're going to be talking about our final piece of software today, and it's actually the newest part of the Boris Effects product line. So actually, probably only a couple of months ago now, maybe not even that, Boris Effects was happy to bring in Syntheyes into the family. And Syntheyes is a 3D camera match moving software with a huge amount of pedigree, and we are really excited to have this as part of our range. And I'm going to actually ask our new Syntheyes product manager, Harry Frank, to give us a very, very quick overview of Syntheyes. Please take it away, Mr. Harry Frank.
This year, we welcomed Syntheyes into the Boris FX family of products. Known for being the gold standard in match-moving software, Syntheyes is powerful enough for the biggest Hollywood blockbuster, but priced for the average post-production professional. So right now, I'd like to give you a quick overview of the interface and show you Syntheyes in action. So let's jump right in. So to get started in Syntheyes, you're simply going to open the footage that you would like to track. You don't need to create a new project or anything like that. So I'm going to load some footage here. We don't need to do any image processing to it. I'm just going to load it as is. Now, this is a fairly long shot. It's over 800 frames. So I'm going to trim down the shot to, let's say, 400 frames. Now, if you've not tracked in Syntheyes before, a very good place to start is to simply click the auto button. And this is going to track and solve the scene. It's going to create points and figure out where they should be in 3D space, create a camera, and it will track and solve it faster than I can actually describe what it's doing. Now, it's done a pretty good solve here, but there's a number of things that we need to refine. First, we have an error rate of 3.7781. We want to get our error rate at 1.0 or below. That's going to be considered a pretty accurate solve. Also, if you look at the orientation of our scene, the camera is actually pointing down at the road in our scene, and that's actually not the right direction. So we'll need to fix the orientation of our scene. Syntheyes wants us to save, which we'll do that. And also, I'm noticing that there's quite a bit of lens distortion on here. And if we don't compensate for lens distortion, we're never really going to get a truly accurate solve. So we'll want to be able to compensate and calculate the lens distortion. All of these things that I just mentioned are fairly simple and pretty achievable in a short amount of time here in Syntheyes. Now, to get this error rate down, a good place to start is to go to Track, Clean Up Trackers, and I can select any high error rate trackers. It shows those selected out there, and perhaps short-lived trackers that aren't being very helpful. So I can click on Fix and get rid of those, and then I can click on Go again and resolve the scene. And we can see that we've gotten our error rate down to 0.6826, which is much better than the previous error rate that we had. Next, we can take a look at the lens distortion, and I'll jump to the lens room here, and I can click on Calculate Distortion, go back to the solver, and click on Go again, and it brought the error rate down just a little bit. We can see that we have a little bit of lens distortion on here. The other thing I said we need to fix is the scene orientation. Right now, the camera is pointing totally in the wrong direction. Now, there's a number of different ways to fix this. I'm simply going to go to the 3D room and rotate the camera and trackers in the right direction. Right now you can see the camera is pointing straight down, and we want to flip it forward. We have move, rotate, scale, tools, and we have this button here called whole. What that does is transform the whole scene, the camera and the trackers. So as I move these around, we're moving them all relative to each other, so we don't see any changes here in the camera view. So if I go to my rotation tool and rotate this so that this is pointing in the right direction, this will make a lot more sense in whatever program I end up sending this to, like After Effects. In fact, I'm going to take a look at this path of the camera and try to get this kind of aligned up and down in the y-axis. And if I look over here, you can start to see some of the shapes from the buildings with the point cloud that we've created. So we've got a shape right here from this building, and we've got some buildings over here. So I'm going to align this kind of with the center, kind of like that. And I want to make sure that the bottommost trackers are touching the ground where our ground plane should be. Now, if this was something where I wanted a truly accurate track, I would probably be spending a lot more time to add more trackers to the ground and get things truly aligned. But I want to just keep this simple and keep this to a short overview. So next, let's add a plane where the building is. So we'll perhaps want to add some motion graphics to this or something on the face of this building. So we'll add a plane right here on the building face. So in the 3D room, I can create a shape, and I'm going to select a plane, and I can simply draw the shape in whatever perspective I want. So I'm going to draw it over here in the left view. Like I said before, we can see the shape of this building right here, and we want to get this plane aligned with that shape. And what you're going to notice as you do more and more match moving is how truly imperfect of a place the world really is. There is nothing that's straight or aligned. No buildings are perfectly aligned. And it looks like this building is just a little bit crooked. I'm going to kind of scale this down. Okay, I'm going to call that good. I think that's good enough for a quick track. Now, lastly, before I export this to another program, I need to define what kind of workflow we're going to be doing. Because we have lens distortion, we need to decide, are we going to undistort the lens distortion and just keep the footage undistorted, or are we going to undistort it and then redistort it to keep the original distortion in the shot? Now, to keep things simple here, I'm simply going to run this undistorted and click on OK. So to export this out, I'm simply going to go to File, Export, and we can see a huge number of supported applications and formats here, ranging from Nuke, Houdini, Maya, and even After Effects. And I'm going to run the After Effects JavaScript exporter. This is going to write a JavaScript file that creates a scene in After Effects. So I'm going to use the default settings here, click on OK, and this will bring over the Syntheyes project into After Effects. So that's how you work in Syntheyes and export to another application, such as After Effects or whatever your favorite application is to composite. My name's Harry Frank for Boris FX. Happy holidays, and back to you, Ben.
Thank you very much, Harry. Yeah, Syntheyes has been a revelation to me this year. It's been really lovely to get reacquainted with it and start to work with it in action again. And just all the plans that we have for this product it's gonna be a very exciting 2024. In fact, I think we do have a question about it here. Do you guys plan to improve Syntheyes layout modeling kit? Would be nice to have some basic tools like snapping, extruding, bevels, etc. Would be nice to check layout accuracy with stabilization. All excellent suggestions. Do you know the best place for suggestions like that? It's obviously going to be the Boris Effects Discord channel. So if you head over to www.boriseffectsdiscord.com syntheyes.com. Join the conversation there. I know that Harry is very, very active in the community there with Syntheyes, and we have a really nice and friendly and growing Syntheyes community on our Discord channel. So that's www.boriseffectsdiscord.com. So there's tons of different things that we want to do with this, but the biggest thing for us is to hear what you want out of the software. You know, where should we be spending our time, especially, you know, at this this sort of crucial stage of things. But yeah, it's going to be wild. I mean, we've sort of almost finished everything up now. We've really not touched hardly any of the things that we've actually done in 2023. This has been such a lightning fast look. If you haven't already done so, download the Boris FX Hub, which is our one-stop shop for all things Boris Effects, and you can easily download and try out any of the software that you have seen today, or, you know, if you like it, you can just buy it straight within the hub as well. So all easy peasy. We have permanent licenses available, as well as subscriptions available either monthly or annual. And if you're after the Boris FX Suite, which is everything that we make, then we can get that for one very, very cost-effective price with a subscription. Okay. Now, this is my favorite bit of the show. Actually, we've done loads of my favorite bits of the show, which is giving away stuff. I've got one more thing that I would love to give away now, and that is a subscription of Nuke, which is going to one lucky winner, courtesy of our friends at Foundry. And anyone can test out Nuke for free for 90 days. And if you haven't done so already, go and click on the little link that is available in the chat right now, and you can start out your 90-day free trial. And of course, if you want to plug in your favorite Boris effects into Nuke, we would welcome that you do so. All right, we're going to give away Nuke. We're going to give away Nuke. I mean, we you know we're serious when we spent so much time on this graphic here. I'm going to give you a drum roll, and we're going to find out who the lucky winner of Nuke actually is. Mike Valadio. Mike, there we go. It's you and me. Congratulations. Well done. You are the winner of 1 year subscription of Nuke, courtesy of the Foundry and Boris Effects Live. So well done to Mike. Well done actually to all of our winners. We've given away 3 copies of the Boris Effects Suite plus a Wacom tablet. So aren't we nice? Yes, we are nice, but you are actually the nicest. I want to say thank you very much to everyone who has watched us on Boris Effects Live this year. We have tons of new things planned for Boris Effects Live for next year. 2024 is going to be a big year for the Boris Effects YouTube channel, and you can be part of it by hitting that subscribe button now if you haven't done so already. Okay, I just want to say thank you very much to everyone who's helped out today. Thank you very much to Elizabeth Postle. Thank you to Nick Haraz. Thank you very much to John Dickinson, Alan Lawrence, Harry Frank. Who am I missing? Martin Brennan, Nick Haraz again. I'm sure I've said Nick already. And also past Ben Brownlee. And of course, in Mission Control, I want to say a big thank you to Brian Fox, who has been battling stormy weather, threatening to knock out this stream at any moment in time. Well, all that's left for me to say is happy holidays to everyone out there. My name is Ben Brownlee for Boris Effects. Have a good rest of the year. See you in 2024. Bye for now.